But tonight, we must ask you to do a few things. We can't just say to you, congratulations and good luck. I think it's our obligation as parents and as individuals who are asking for you to build our future. I think tonight, with a lot of affection and with a lot of respect, we ask you to do a couple of things. First of all, we ask you, no matter where you go in life, whether it's an academic career, whether it's in the world of work, in the next year or the year after, or in many years after that, or whether it's serving in the military, or wherever you are, we ask you to serve and to volunteer. And some are already doing that. You did it in grade school, you did it in high school, you'll do it in your work, and you'll do it as adults. But we ask you to continue or to begin service and volunteerism all across this state and across this country. And we think tonight of so many stories and so many lines from songs or from our history or from the history of this region. But we also think about the importance of service and volunteerism and making sure that that leads to a better sense and a bit more of achievement in justice. So we ask you tonight to act for justice. And there's a great hymn that talks about acting with justice, and it begins this way. The first line of the hymn goes like this: "Come, live in the light." And then it goes on from there and talks about being called to act for justice and the calling to serve one another. And I think the reason that song, that hymn, starts with living in the light is because by your service, you will bring light to the lives of so many people, and in effect bring light to your own life as someone who serves. You know, Martin Luther King said a long time ago, the late Dr. King said it best. He said, if you say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. Say that I was a drum major for peace. And let it be said of all of us at the end of our lives, and let it be said in your life as well. And we think about our history, the history of this Commonwealth, the history of this city and this region. It's been pretty tough the last 50 years for so many families in this state. Economic decline, job loss, and all of the horror and the trauma that comes with that. We think of communities like my own in northeastern Pennsylvania, tremendous loss of jobs when the coal industry left. And here in Altoona, over the course of many years, the loss of jobs, the loss of population. Over about a 70-year period, when I think about it in my own father's life, from about 1930 to 2000, 39% of the population of this great city was lost. But you know what? The people who were raised here, the people who work here, the people who serve here have never given up. And that's one of the many reasons that we need you. We need you to stay here and work here and live here and raise your families and build a future for Altoona and all of southwestern Pennsylvania. So the first thing we ask of you is service and that kind of commitment. The second thing we ask of you is to do everything possible. And this isn't always easy. It's easy to say it, but it's more difficult to live it. To do everything possible to remain ever faithful to your family. Not just your own family, but the family of Altoona and the family of this county in this region. You know, there's a popular song, and I have 2 teenage daughters out of 4 daughters, so I have to try to remain relatively current with top 40 songs. But it's a great song with a lot of emotion to it. The name of it is 100 Years. I think it was a #1 song about a year ago. And it's a very moving song for a lot of people. But for a parent, it's even more moving. And it talks about the life of a person and moving on into the future. The first line, I think, goes something like, I'm 15 for a moment, caught in between 10 and 20, but I'm just dreaming of being where you are. And it's a great song because it takes the life of someone and talks about different ages in your life. Age 15, age 33, age 45, age 67, and then finally age 99. And the refrain of that song talks about someone's age, a period in someone's life, being just a moment. It says, I'm 15 for a moment, I'm 33 for a moment, and on from there. And it reminds us that our lives and our families' lives and the emotions and the feelings that we have for each other last but a moment. And it's our obligation to do everything to make sure that those moments are moments of faith and meaning and value in our families. So I ask you, when that moment of your life comes, whether it's at the age of 22 or 33 or 45, that you're doing everything you can to not just to achieve and succeed, but you're doing everything possible to serve others and to be faithful to your family. So our prayer tonight for you, our fervent hope, is that the bright light that you feel tonight and the light of hope which is in this room tonight for you and for your family will burn ever brightly. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, family, friends, and fellow graduates, this is a time for celebration. Some people equate graduation with happiness. One of the most important things in life is to celebrate one's achievements. We must take joy in what we do, even if it's something little. I, for one, associate the sound of a printer with accomplishment. Every time I finish a rough draft for a big assignment, I take a moment to put on some music and dance. It feels good, I promise you. Sing your heart out, grab a slice of pizza, do something to celebrate that little accomplishment. In the words of Oprah Winfrey, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is to celebrate. When you start taking pleasure in the little things, you get a spring in your step, a sparkle in your eye. You begin to build an attitude that will help you get through the bad times when life is not fair. With this attitude, you may begin to notice that you smile a lot more. And I've heard and found it to be true that smiling can get you far in life. It puts other people at ease, makes you more approachable, and it's one statement that transcends words. Don't be quick to take offense, and don't let yourself get overly stressed. Find something to smile or laugh about. Because of this outlook on life, I'm coming away from high school with many fond memories. There were those times in Spanish when you mistook sheep for ovaries or a press conference for Wheel of Fortune. You blush, and then you laugh. Those instances become jokes and possibly something to bond over. Be proud of the person you are. You're special. Someone looks up to you, and you probably don't even know it. Each of us has so much to offer to the world. Throughout our years of formal education, we've each gone through a metamorphosis. And congratulations, I don't see a single cockroach out there. We all have something to be proud of. We've all made it this far. Now we will be going our separate ways. Some to college, some to trade school, some to various branches of the military, others right into the workforce, and others will explore other options. We've worked so hard to get to where we are. Our parents, teachers, family, guidance counselors, and friends have helped us more on the way than we can imagine. Thank you to all of those people. This is not an ending, but a beginning of a new phase of life that we should celebrate. Everyone is afraid of leaving their friends, but keep the words of Cicero in mind. Friends, though absent, are still present. These relationships have helped you become who you are. With the wonders of technology, it won't be hard to keep in touch if you try. Some are scared of what lies ahead, the unknown. Robert Frost aptly declared, "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. What seems like a big deal now won't matter in the future. Time keeps moving on, like it or not, and life will go on with it. It's up to you to make the most of it. I will leave you with the words of Gerald Ford. We cannot stand still or slip backwards. We must go forward now together. Celebrate life and don't ever give up. Congratulations, class of 2005, and thank you.
Good evening, distinguished guests, friends, family, and fellow graduates. In the movie Jack, Robin Williams played the role of a child with an illness that caused him to age much faster than his peers. Thus, by the time high school graduation came, he had aged into an elderly man. He delivered a commencement speech at the end of the movie that went something like this. As we come to the end of this phase of our lives, we find ourselves trying to remember the good times and trying to forget the bad times. And we find ourselves thinking about the future. We start to worry, thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be in 10 years? But I say to you, hey, look at me. Please don't worry so much, because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting, and if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish and think of me, and make your life spectacular. I made it, Mom. I'm a grown-up. So to all the mothers and fathers out there today, we made it. We're grown-ups. The thought of growing up is thrilling yet foreboding. We're uncertain of our futures, but we will make the best of them. We've made the best of life so far. All of our firsts have been building to this great crescendo. First steps, first words, first day of school, first best friend, first boyfriend or girlfriend, first broken heart, and the first day of high school. Tomorrow marks the first day of adulthood. While our families will always be there to offer advice, we are the ones who will be responsible for making our own decisions. Just because we've completed high school doesn't mean we can't reminisce. In the midst of our busy lives 10 years from now, we'll all get a free moment and remember these high school days. We'll remember football games, proms, and our best friends. At times, we all felt overwhelmed by schoolwork, part-time jobs, and responsibilities. But in the midst of these obstacles, we shared some amazing memories. We formed friendships and memories that we will cherish forever. Upon glancing through an old yearbook or a photo album, a nostalgic tear may drip onto a picture full of blissfully happy teenagers. In spite of reminiscing, we must continue on. There are many memories still to come. We've set lofty goals for ourselves, and now the time has come for us to achieve those goals. So, when we meet again, we'll share the new experiences and accomplishments, while remembering the foundation upon which we have built our lives. The future is promising for all of us. Special teachers, loving families, and supportive friends have given us the firm foundations necessary for successful lives. Now we go our separate ways to build those lives. As much as we may want to cling to our friends and our lives here, we will move on. This night is what we've been waiting for. Our countdowns have run out, and now we stand on the verge of something unknown. It's with a heavy, yet hopeful heart that we say goodbye to Altoona High and the memories. As the lyrics of an Eve 6 song express, here's to the nights we felt alive, here's to the tears you knew you'd cry. Here's to goodbye, tomorrow's gonna come too soon. So to the class of 2005, thanks for the memories and congratulations.
Administrators, school board members, faculty, parents, extended family, friends, and fellow graduates. One of the most prestigious events in the Olympic Games is the marathon, whose 26 miles and 385 yards prove a great challenge to human endurance. The marathon never shone more brilliantly as a testament to determination and perseverance than it did at the 1968 Summer Olympic Games held in Mexico City. With the firing of a gun, John Stephen Akwari of Tanzania started the race with the other runners, but he soon fell far behind the quick pace of the leaders. 2 hours and 20 minutes later, a crowded Olympic stadium cheered as the first runner entered and crossed the finish line.
Others were applauded as they completed the race. The race concluded, and most of the spectators departed. Then,